Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. All right. I've got Erbil Gunasti on the phone with us, or on the show with us today. He's the author of Game Changer. And he is really the inside guy to have on your show, because what's going on in Turkey, what's happening in the United States, he has been on both sides of the communication between the prime ministers of Turkey in the past, and working with the U.S. government and the president on this side. So, Bill, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Good to be with you, Michael.
Okay. Game Changer was way ahead of its time when you wrote it, and it was about what's going on right now, the turmoil that's happening in the Middle East. Bring us up to speed as to the backstory of what's going on here. The United States has pulled out, and then Turkey has started to move in. I wanted to understand better what the politics are, the tactics are, and how long this thing has really been brewing.
Well, first of all, I wrote this book almost a year ago by now, and I gave it to the publisher, and I didn't change a thing in the 6 months that I had a chance to change, because apparently whatever I wrote then was right to the word, so much so that even this pullout by President Trump, it's in the book. And where President Trump is going to go next in the region is in the book. The point is, I'm able to see these things not because I worked for 8 prime ministers, including Erdogan, when he was prime minister for 5 years, but not because I'm here in Washington, D.C., and immersed into the Trump administration so much, more than anyone can be. It's just that common sense, plus, of course, my background of history and political science, but it's common sense. When you put one and one together, you end up with this decision to pull out of Syria now. And that's what President Trump is, common sense. And that's what President Erdogan is, common sense. These are wise people. I put it like this: they have wisdom, and they also have vision. And without these two, you cannot be president. You cannot lead nation. You cannot lead masses. Don't forget, U.S. leads the world. Much of the world. It's 7.6 billion people we are.
Bill, let me get in the conversation with us on this one. Okay, they're bombing prisons right now. The common theory in the United States, from the people that I know, I'm not saying that I'm an insider in D.C., is that the United States was backing the Kurds because they were helping them against the forces that were not friendly to the United States. So there's some complicated maneuvers going on and politics going on. Help us make sense of what the reasoning is, the backstory on what's going on right now.
Well, the backstory is globalists. That's why we elected. That's why there was a Trump revolution. Globalists, starting with Clinton, and then Bush 43, and then Obama. This is what they have done. It's not that this is not the right policy. Who sent these 200 troops in 2016 to Syria? Why did Obama send this thing in the last day? You have to look at it from that perspective. Then you have to look at it, what did Obama do with Iran, with John Kerry, in 2016? Now, the name of it, you can use one word for both of them. It's to weaponize Syria, weaponize Iran. Why did they do it? Why did Obama do this thing? He did it for the incoming nationalistic, non-globalist Trump organization. So you have to look at it from this perspective. First of all, for the U.S. armed forces to be in Syria was wrong decision. That 200 soldiers was wrong, not the 2,000 afterwards that Trump sent to make sure that those 2,000, nothing happens to that 200, like it happened in Lebanon. 241 people died when we deployed 300 of them. So you have to put it into perspective. First of all, the mistakes were made, starting with Clinton, with Bush, and with Obama. They made mistake. The mistake is to associate themselves with a non-state actor. What's a non-state actor? Kurds. They don't have a state. They don't have a flag. They don't have a territory. And you are the superpower. That's us. The United States of America is a superpower, and it's going around and with the non-state actors trying to run the world. This doesn't work like that. You have NATO, you have allies, you have strategic alliances, you have balance of power, and all these things work with another state. And when you have to apply these things, you have to think how to apply it. There are many factors to apply. That's why I wrote the book. There's so much stuff. It's nonsense that these senators are coming out and talking about Kurds. What's a Kurd? If a guy took a gun to his hand, let it be in Iraq or, for that matter, in Syria. If this guy took a gun to himself and put it on somebody else's head, what's the difference between that Kurd and that ISIS? They are the same people. Let's differentiate these things. There's a 30,000 Kurdish militia there. They don't represent the 30 million Kurds. We have to understand first this. You are not going to build a nation state for the Kurds today when Woodrow Wilson didn't do it in the 19th century or beginning of the 20th century. So you are not going to do nation building now when the nation building element was at the height between 1950 and 1980. It stopped. But unfortunately, our globalists, which is Clinton, Bush 43, and Obama, continued for the next 24 years nation building. So they betrayed globalists, our presidents, together with the Western European globalists. They betrayed Kurds twice before. Don't talk about that we are betraying Kurds right now, 5,000 terrorists right now. We are betraying 5,000 terrorists right now. We are not betraying any other Kurds. Let me tell you one other thing. This is very important. When the Turks go in there, you know what President Erdogan said to Trump? He says, we are going in there. We are going to take an area 30 kilometers by 822 kilometers long and secure it, clear it from the terrorists. And of the terrorists, let me make sure you understand, he said to Trump, President Erdogan said, when we clear the terrorists, half of them are not terrorists. Why? Because they are enslaved Kurds, enslaved Kurds. They were stolen from their families, kids at a younger age. They're going to be reincorporated back to their families, loved ones in Iran, in Turkey, in Syria, in Iraq. That's what Turkey. So Turkey, when it invades from 6 different fronts right now, that's what is talked about, and they are going to go slowly and they are going to be careful. Why? Because they don't want to kill half of the so-called terrorists. What is called is the loyal allies of the U.S. This is a mockery. I mean, I can. This is not to debate right now here, but this is a U.S. mockery. You can put any 4-star general here in front of me, and he cannot defend this thing. That he will go ally U.S. with the Kurdish terrorists.
So how do you think
somebody
it's going to
who
end?
killed somebody else?
Bill, how do you think it's going to end?
How it is? It's working.
How is this going to end?
Oh, this is going to end very nicely. Look at the past examples, and you can predict the future. What did Turkey do in 2016? Turkey went into Elbab. U.S. objected it. The world objected it because they were all globalists at that time. 2016, Turkey went in there, cleared the zone. Then when Trump came, President Trump came to power, unfortunately his hands were tied with Russia, so he couldn't do anything, deal with Turkey that is, or Russia, or for other countries. So what did Turkey do? Turkey went into Afrin. It cleared that area from the Kurdish terrorists and Kurdish others, militia. So what did Turkey do afterwards? Immediately after that, Turkey put there 300,000 Kurds, Arabs, Turkmens, Yazidis, that were refugees in Turkey, among the 4 million, Turkey reinstated them back to their homes in Elbap and Afrin region. Now, Turkey is doing now with 1.7 million of the remaining people of 4 million that is still living in Turkey, back to this zone that I just mentioned, 30 kilometers, but 822 kilometers long. And there's 6 towns there. They were sent out into exile through ethnic cleansing by these militias. That's why they are in Turkey. They're not there. Assad did not come there to kick these people out. ISIS was there to kick them out, but also the Kurds took the advantage of it. What do you expect from a terrorist? You have to decide which side of the aisle we are in. We are the sole superpower in the world, and we're going to lose this if we don't get our act together. Now, what President Trump did is the first step in the many other steps to make U.S. Great again, America great again, and then to keep America great again. This is the first step on that path.
Good. Let's end it right there. I want you to come back and we'll talk about the other steps as this unfolds, because this is not going to end tomorrow. There's going to be more twists and turns, and I want to have you come back and give us some commentary on the latest update of what's going on. Would that be all right?
Of course, by all means.
Bill, thanks for being on our show today.
Anytime. Take care.
You're welcome. All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.